Jim, don't do it. Don't do it. If you value our partnership, don't do it. We've been putting it in together for 9 years. Don't do it, Jim.
Do it.
Jim, don't do it, Jim.
Do it.
Why'd you do it, Jim? Why? Why? To humiliate me?
So we finally have our first look at the Galaxy S27 Ultra as well as the S27 Pro, and man, what were they even thinking? What's up guys, Sal here. So for a while now, we've known Samsung was planning to change the design of the S27 Ultra. We knew they were moving to a horizontal camera setup, so naturally we thought it would look something like this. Turns out we were wrong. Instead, it's gonna look like this. Yeah, Universe says this is what the S27 Ultra is gonna look like. Basically, it looks like Samsung took the iPhone 17 Pro Max, changed just enough things to avoid making it look like a blatant copy, and called it a day. And honestly, Samsung, why? Look, I'm all for changing things up. The Galaxy S Ultra design has been pretty much the same for several generations now. So when we first heard that Samsung was moving to a new design, I was actually excited. I thought Samsung was finally gonna do something different, but this? Come on. And to be fair, it doesn't look identical to the iPhone, but that camera layout is immediately gonna remind people of the iPhone 17 Pro. And that's what frustrates me the most, because Samsung could have done something so much more distinctive. Think about previous Galaxy Ultra phones. Those individual camera rings gave the phone a really recognizable identity. You could see one from across the room and immediately know it was a Galaxy Ultra. Even with the camera island of the S26 Ultra, it still looked unmistakably Samsung. Now we have a giant horizontal camera island that makes the phone look much more generic. And the funny thing is, Honor already has a phone with basically exactly the same design. What a time to be alive when the biggest smartphone companies making a flagship phone that looked like a knockoff of other Chinese phone. Anyway, Samsung is also making the S27 Pro this year, and Universe shared two images. He later clarified that one of them is the S27 Ultra, but we still don't know what the other one is. It could be the S27 Pro, it could be the regular S27 or the Plus. If I had to guess, I think Samsung's gonna use the new design for both the S27 Ultra and the S27 Pro, while the S27 and the Plus will get this design. Which means the base models might actually look better than the Ultra models next year. And just to clear something up, yes, we can see a MagSafe style ring here, but that doesn't confirm that the phone itself will have built-in magnets. We saw the exact same thing with the S26 Ultra, and that phone didn't have built-in magnets. Those rings are mainly there for case manufacturers to show where they can place the magnets inside their cases. Now there's another interesting detail here. Last year, the S26 Edge was supposedly gonna use this exact same design before Samsung cancelled the phone altogether. So I'm starting to think Samsung already had this design sitting around somewhere and basically went, well, we spent all this time designing it, might as well use it somewhere. And honestly, that's exactly what this feels like. Now look, maybe I'm being too harsh, maybe the actual phone gonna look incredible in person, maybe these renders don't do the design justice, and obviously we haven't seen the final version yet. But based on what we're seeing right now, I just don't understand the decision. I don't want the Galaxy S Ultra to look like an iPhone, I don't want it to look like an Honor, a Xiaomi or a Vivo, I want it to look like a Galaxy. And that's the thing about smartphone design, it's not just about making something look good, it's about giving the product an identity. A few years ago, you could see a Galaxy Ultra from across the room and instantly know what it was without even seeing the Samsung logo. I'm not sure you can say the same thing about this. And that, to me, is the biggest problem with this new design. Anyway, that's just my take. Let me know what do you think in the comments. Maybe I'm completely wrong, maybe you actually love this design. Either way, I want to know what you think. And if you didn't know already, Samsung is launching 5 foldables next year, and one of them is even wider than the Fold 8. Click here to find out more, and I'll see you there.